is a cool and windy night in Surprise, Arizona, as the Royals will host the San Francisco Giants. And Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. And we welcome you to Billy Parker Field in Surprise. Rex Hudler, Ryan Lefevre, and Joel Goldberg will be joining us throughout the game tonight. And we're 5 days away from opening night, and I get the feeling that the guys are getting pretty antsy.
There's no question about that, Rhino. Last week they were really antsy. This week they're anxious. They can't wait to get home and share the love of baseball with that beautiful World Championship Kansas City crowd. And
we have a lot coming up for you tonight, not just the game, but of course we have access we don't normally have during the regular season. So throughout the broadcast tonight, we'll be checking in with the Royals dugout. We're going to visit with hitting coach Dale Swaim, pitching coach Dave Island. Joel will have players all throughout the game when they come out. We're also going to be talking about some of the names that you need to be familiar with this year. Names that were not on the Royals' radar during Fan Fest at the beginning of spring training, but very much so now. And let's preview the American League Central. We'll take a look at the other 4 teams in the division and what to expect from them. So, a fun night at Kauffman Stadium, and Ned Yost has most of his regulars, could be perhaps his opening day lineup in there tonight against the San Francisco Giants. The first pitch is coming up next. Surprise Stadium, and here we are winding down spring training 2016, and in 5 days the Royals will be at Kauffman Stadium taking on the New York Mets. Bruce Bochy, can you believe it? He has been with the Giants for 10 seasons after a long run with the San Diego Padres, winning 3 World Series championships with San Francisco 2010, 2012, and then of course beating the Royals in 2014. He has some regulars in there tonight. They've also had some scratches. Brandon Belt was going to play at first base. He is ill, so he's not in the lineup. They will face YORDANO Ventura, who really made a name for himself on the national stage in Game 6 of the World Series against the Giants at Kauffman Stadium when the Royals took Game 6, forcing Game 7, and that's when Ventura, with a heavy heart, was pitching in honor of Oscar Taveras, his good buddy in the Dominican Republic, who had just passed away.
That's right. But you know, this young man here, 3 pitches that he possesses are some of the finest out of any young pitcher in the game. He's got command of his changeup. He's got a nice overhand curve, and his fastball that he's been working this spring on spotting it on the corners more, trying to stay out of the middle if that's all possible. That's what Dave Island was sharing with me earlier. He does have a tendency to cut the fastball at times, but you know, as young as he is and as good as his 3 pitches are, Dave Island does not want to see the cutter in his repertoire at all. It's going to be tough on your elbow.
Much better after the All-Star break, about the time that he was sent down to AAA. Really picked it up in the second half. He has Gordon, Kane, and Fuentes in the outfield, and MOUSTAKAS, Escobar, Infante, and Hosmer on the dirt, and Salvador Perez behind the plate. Gregor Blanco, the one-time Royal, takes a fastball for a strike. Blanco was in KC for part of the 2010 season after coming over in a trade with the Braves. 0-2.
65 degrees and breezy, and of course here it's surprise that wind has a tendency to blow straight out. Good for the hitters.
Foul tip, 3 pitches, and down he goes.
Yep, most starters that pitched this last week are in that rotation, and Ventura got the 3rd spot on the rotation, Ned announced. And so they'll all be throwing upwards to, you know, 85, 90 pitches.
And now Matt Duffy outside from Ventura. Talking about Ventura in his second half last year, it was quite a ride for YORDANO Ventura. He signed a 5-year contract extension in spring training last year, and then he was suspended when the Royals were mixing it up with the A's and the White Sox early in the season. Then he spent some time on the disabled list with a nerve problem in his elbow. And then on July 21st, the Royals felt like he needed to go down to AAA and just reset. He never went because Jason Vargas had to go on the disabled list and had Tommy John surgery, so he never went to Omaha, but he had been demoted. And that's actually when his season took off.
Yeah, you know, he's still a young guy. Ooh, made to paint that corner. Man, is he using that fastball here early. But you know, he had some growing up to do. There was some things they were seeing on the field that Ned Yost didn't like. And you know, so sometimes that demotion gets a lot of people's attention. They demoted him. However, Vargas went down like a day or so later with Tommy John surgery, and so he never physically went to Omaha, but the threat was there, and they had already done it, so it almost worked as well.
Joe Panik jumps on the first pitch and lines it to Kane in center field. So Ventura really using his fastball in the first inning and gets through the Giants 1-2-3. Still a good crowd here tonight, even though we are winding down the Cactus League schedule. And Ned Yost has most, if not all, of his regulars in there tonight, depending on what he does Sunday against the Mets. And right-hander Matt Harvey. Ray Fuentes will be in right field, and Omar Infante is at second base. Otherwise, the first 7, we'd expect to see them in the opening day lineup.
That's right. It's looking good. What a so far so good as far as health goes. Gerard Dyson, the only casualty of a rib cage pull. He did the first at bat of the spring, so they've been really blessed with good health.
This is Clayton Blackburn, who spent all of last year at AAA, and he misses inside to Alcides Escobar.
I think that hat of Blackburn's is about ready to be shelved. We can leave that here with all of his spring training memorabilia.
Well hit to right field. That's Slater out in right to make the play. And there is one down. Yeah, that is an impressive collection of salt on a hat.
It is. You know, everybody knows it's hard to sweat down here, but that can be very deceptive. Florida with the moisture, you sweat. I mean, physically, you got to change uniforms. It's just sopping wet. But out here, it's dry and it evaporates, and it can trick you. But you got to have the same type of fluids. Stay hydrated. It's dangerous out here because you don't think you sweat much, and then next thing you know, you're crapping up.
Mike Moustakas with a .340 batting average. The Giants have elected to position 3 infielders on the right side, leaving the third baseman Matt Duffy on the left side.
Same Moose. He hasn't changed. We've witnessed him push that bunt down the third base line. Whenever he feels it's appropriate, gets the right pitch, he squares up and drops her down.
Was that a swing? Yes. Gabe Morales is the third base umpire. I still find it interesting, though, Hud, that with all of the hits that Mike Moustakas had to left field last year, that most teams have not adjusted accordingly. They still play him to pull.
Yeah, and there was a few teams that we witnessed last year that played him straight up, but not very many. More teams played him to pull than not. But you know what? That shift, even though it's used for the percentages, lots of times it's psychological to the hitter. They try to play mind games sometimes, and it can work, but not Moose. Moose has grown past that now. He's not going to change his game.
Two down to Lorenzo Cain. You and I were here yesterday just watching, and boy, did Lorenzo Cain put a charge into a ball early in the game yesterday.
Sure did. You know, sometimes it's hard to judge how far a ball really goes as much as the wind blows. But you can tell by the sound.
Nice play at third by Duffy. Low throw is dug out by Shaw. So a good defense on both ends of the diamond, and Blackburn matches Ventura with a 1-2-3 first inning.
Young man's got some nice skills.
Score to the top of the second inning, and as we promised, we're going to visit with members of the Royals coaching staff, and we begin with hitting coach Dale Swaim. And Dale, let's jump right into it. You never know when you're going to have a 7-pitch inning or not. As we were looking at the Royals lineup tonight, the first 7, I think, when spring training began, you could lock all those guys in there. But let's talk about the 8 and 9 hitters in there tonight. And let's begin with Raymond Fuentes. What do you like about him as a hitter, and you know, what strides has he made to put himself in the position he's in now?
Yeah, I think he's you know, he's got very good mechanics, very simple. You know, he doesn't have a lot going on, so really good quick hands. You know, does a lot of things. You know, he can bunt, hits the ball the other way, can pull the ball, and still hits the ball out of the ballpark too on occasion. So, you know, he brings a lot to the table. You know, the way he can run, he kind of fits our way we play.
And then Omar Infante, that was a big question mark coming in this year, coming off the worst season of his major league career. And at least from the broadcast booth, he looks like he's really swung the bat well.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, he's done a little bit better job of hitting the ball when it's away from him. You know, he's pretty good when the ball's close to him. We just got to get him to do something when the ball's away from him. He's been a lot better this spring doing that. So hopefully it continues.
Dale, this is your 3rd season now. And a big theme for the Royals offense last season and in 14 was just keep the line moving. Can you explain that phrase, please, to the people?
Well, I mean, it's something, you know, I've had, you know, that I've been saying for a long time wherever I've been. It's something you got to get the line moving. Obviously, everybody knows we don't walk a whole lot, so we need to take our walks when we get the 3-2 counts and things like that, and then make things happen by putting the ball in play and keeping the line moving. We're not a club to consider and think about hitting 3-run homers and doing things like that. So we just got to keep the line moving as much as we can by putting the ball in play and you know, making the other team make plays on us. So you know, that's the way we score runs, and we have to do that to keep the line moving.
How about Alex Gordon? I've noticed he's standing a little more upright. What are some of the things you've been working with him mechanically?
Well, I think, you know, that's probably one of the bigger things is getting him more upright to create a little bit more leverage in his swing. You know, to handle the breaking ball a little bit better and things like that. So, you know, he's had a good spring. It's working for him. And, you know, I think his power's coming back to the opposite way in center field. So, you know, those are the things, just trying to get him back to that posture that he had in 2011.
How about Hosmer? What are you doing with him?
Well, not a whole lot. Mainly just, you know, trying to get him to be a little more consistent probably with his mechanics and getting breaking balls in the air a little more, not beating him in the ground, you know, getting under him and he's done a good job of that so far this spring with off-speed stuff, getting the ball in the air.
Dale, Hud and I brought this up a couple of times in the spring broadcast, and I know it's just a spring training game, but I've been surprised that as much as Mike Moustakas established the left side of the field last year, and some teams in particular in our division, they began to adjust. You know, they didn't have the extreme pull against him, but I'm still surprised now when I see teams, I mean, they're still playing him like they did in 2014.
Well, I think you can look around all of baseball now, and people are just shifting on just about anybody. You know, the guy's still hitting the ball the other way, and guys are still shifting on him. So it's, you know, the game's just going that way to where, you know, most left-handed hitters are getting shifted on. It's just the way it is now. It's still, no matter if you hit it the other way, it's still, you know, difficult for left-handed hitters to hit ground balls the other way. So it's not a bad idea, but it's until people start, you know, taking it away from him and hitting the ground balls over there on purpose, you know, most guys are going to get shifted on.
How about Lorenzo Cain?
Well, Lowe's doing, you know, a good job. He's kind of picking up where he left off. He's having really good at-bats constantly and, you know, still driving the ball. You know, Lowe Cain is his, you know, does things really well at the plate. He's smart. You know, he knows what to work on. He doesn't do too much. And, you know, he's really in tune with his swing, so that really helps a lot.
That'll load the bases as Austin Slater was nicked on the hand, so bases loaded and 1 out. I want to go back to a point that you made a little while ago, and the knock, I say knock because it's only some people's opinion, and the Royals are kind of changing the way people think, but the knock has been that the Royals don't walk a lot. But the other side of that is, as you point out, the Royals don't strike out. They hardly ever strike out. They put the ball in play. How much of that is a team or a Dale Swaim philosophy, and how much is that is just the nature of the players that are on the team?
Well, I think it's, you know, a little bit of everything, knowing that, you know, we have the ability to do those things, keep, you know, put the ball in play. You know, we have a lot of very aggressive hitters. You're not going to make them into guys that are going to walk a ton, but, you know, for you know, a tit for a tat is, okay, if you're not going to walk, you better not strike out. So it's, you know, one of those things where that's the way we're going to have to work it. You know, I never seen a strikeout hit the outfield grass. So, you know, those are things we talk about, and the players buy into it, and they're like, okay, if we're not going to, you know, be able to walk, let's walk when we do get to 3-2. Understand that, how important that was, and ended up being in the World Series. And in the playoffs, the 4-3-2 walks at Locane laid off 3-2 sliders and a changeup from Clippard, ended up scoring and winning us the playoffs and the World Series because of 3-2 walks.
Most of the time, Dale, what I witness is 3-2. That pitcher's coming with a strike, what, 50-60% of the time?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, today I was just, you know, thinking about it again and went and looked, and against our team, you know, there was 693 2-pitches thrown to us last year, and 390 of them were out of the zone. So more than half the pitches are out of the zone in 3-2 counts. So, you know, so that's where you have to really take advantage of that knowledge and be a lot more patient in those counts, because you're right there to be able to take a walk.
That's Ricky Oropesa, who is the Giants' designated hitter, and driving it to right center field. He will score Arroyo, Olivo, and Slater. So YORDANO VENTURA, who has already struck out 3 in an inning in the third, after the hit batter. Now the 3-run double.
Oh, are you kidding me? These guys that are called up from the minor leagues that are on TV in this big league game, they can't wait for that half-inch mistake. Dale, you remember when you were a young player and you got called up to the big leagues, man, you were hacking, weren't you?
Yeah, I wasn't, you know, I wasn't there to show somebody I could walk, that's for sure. So,
so that kid, he just got a piece of cheese and drove it to the wall.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, you know, my first at bat was off Lee Smith, you know, when I was 19 years old. So the one thing I wasn't going to do was get a strike on me.
Yeah, I got to be hacking. Hey, what about Merrifield? Tell us about the young rookie that is trying to make this ball club. What have you seen about him? Now, we know his athleticism. He can play different positions on the field, which brings value to any skipper and any team. But offensively, I saw him on a 3-1 pitch yesterday. Hit one over the bullpen way out of here yesterday's game.
Well, I mean, he's done a heck of a job. He's had a heck of a spring, you know, and more importantly, he's had a heck of a spring playing defense wherever we put him, whether it's third, second, right field, left field. You know, he's done it first base. You know, he's done a great job defensively, which is, I think, is probably as important as anything on this team, to show that, you know, he can catch the ball anywhere we put him. And you know, he's always swung the bat well. And you know, coming in, I think he probably had a little, you know, taste that, you know, he could make this team. And he's really been turning on here the last couple of weeks and getting some at-bats and doing, you know, hitting some really good pitching. This is when you determine, you know, can guys hit, because, you know, they're facing the major league pitchers most of the day now.
We're showing a shot of him, Dale, right now, and he's standing next to Terrence Gore, who seemed to make some strides. We haven't seen him hit much at the major league level, but seemed to make some strides last year at Double A, trying to become less of a one-dimensional type player.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, he's not physically strong, you know, but they're trying to get him to use his hands more, get his hands more involved in the baseball swing, and because those are things connected to the bat, and you got to be able to use them and not take out all the rest of your body. You just need to put the ball in play somehow and let your speed do the talking.
Now, well, we still have you, Dale. It's 2 outs, I know, but how about Escobar and Salvi? Tell us a little bit about their spring condition.
Well, you know, Esky, you know, has pretty quick at bats. We all know that. And you know, yesterday he had a triple on the first pitch of the game, and you know, so he is what he is, and you know, it's going to take him, you know, to get focused and get going when the season starts, and he always shows up. And He's a little salvage. He's battling some, you know, probably some mechanical things right now, but, you know, he's still pretty dang good. Still having a pretty decent string with home runs and everything like that. So it's just a few mechanical things. And, you know, the monotonous of spring training sometimes gets the best of everybody.
Dale, thanks a lot for your time. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Dale.
Eric Hosmer leads off the bottom of the second inning. The Giants just scored 3 in the top of the second for a 3-0 lead on a 3-run double from Ricky Oropesa. A change up or a sinker down, and Hosmer swings over the top. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Biggest hit in Oropesa's career. I mean, it was a loud, ringing double off that wall in right center.
And now fastball makes it 1-2. Dale Swaim had a long career, and yet he remembered his first big league spring training at bat. Not regular season, but he was a 19-year-old facing Lee Smith. So Oropesa probably take him a long time to forget, if he ever does, the at bat that he had here tonight.
I have to think twice, but I believe mine was Charlie Huff, a knuckleballer. Oh, that was not good. Yeah, but Dale was great. I wish we had a little more time with him. We could break down some fundamentals. He was just now getting to salve. He's saying he's having some mechanical issues. But they also said that this type of spring, you know, you're battling a lot of anxiety and a lot of can't wait to get on the bus. Forget about us down here in spring training.
And I brought this up before, and we've asked some of the players this spring training, but I've always thought, you know, if you're in Florida or Arizona, you get a nice groove out here. You got short sleeves on. You know, you're wearing sunglasses, and this is not going to be the case in Kansas City this year. The weather looked like it's going to be nice. Here, Hosmer comes back and takes a walk, but you know what kind of a groove, if you go from 70 degrees to 38 degrees, can you take from spring training north?
You don't. The groove you're in spring training is mental. And so you try to keep that mental groove. The physical groove, that's a whole different thing. Your mechanics and trying to find yourself. You try during BP, but it's more mental. You want to take the same mental approach, the confident approach into the regular season, no matter the weather. And I played for a few teams that went into cold weather too, and it's just a whole different ball game.
Yeah, you might have a turtleneck on and long underwear.
I remember Wrigley Field when I was with the Cardinals. We opened there in Chicago. Man, it was like 32 degrees, and you couldn't even feel your hands. And you got to go up there and face a guy that you haven't seen before. I mean, it's a whole different ball game, really.
Kendrys Morales takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Young man Clayton Blackburn who's pitching for the Giants, was talking with Bruce Bochy before the game. Said he really likes this kid. Might be one of the first guys that they bring up if they need somebody, which is high praise.
That's well hit to right field. So a walk and a single, and after the Giants scored 3 in the top half of the inning, the Royals have 2 on with nobody out. Well, we're 5 days from opening day, so even as broadcasters we have to get to our A game, and that means Joel is here. Hi, Joel.
All right. Hey guys, hanging down here in the dugout. Noticed a couple of things right from the beginning in spring training with the Royals. A couple of themes or a couple of words. One is dynasty. The players are throwing that around. They understand they have a chance to make history here. Win 3 straight American League championships. They believe they are very close to potentially three-peating with the World Series and fell just short against San Francisco. The other word that I've heard a lot talked about is family, the closeness of this group, and you hear it from all the players. Joakim Soria is back with the team for the first time since 2011, and he says that you just don't see this kind of chemistry and this kind of caring for each other on other teams, and he's been around now. Alex Gordon, he's at the plate. He's obviously back. He's going to raise his kids in Kansas City, and Chris Young maybe summed it up best, saying, I've waited my whole career to play on a team like this.
You know, it's pretty impressive. I'm down on the field before the game. We're getting ready to do the open to the show tonight, and the A2, the guy who's in charge of the sound, he's down there, and we're talking. We're filling some time there, and he goes, you know, something about this Royals team I learned last year in spring training. They're happy. These guys come, they have a good time. They're enjoying. They enjoy the fans. They're a happy bunch. And I said, you know, you're right. It's one of the reasons why they're so good is because they're loose and relaxed, and they go ahead and they play their game.
And it's just hard to describe because the game has become so numbers oriented that you just can't attach a war, if you will, to how well the guys get along or how much they enjoy playing the game together.
Yeah, and you know, that's the biggest thing. You know, Pacoda, the statistical information, that is only going on the offensive numbers. They don't have any idea about team chemistry, the bullpen, the defense. So, you know, those things I just mentioned are very important.
Breaking ball is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now a slide step, and Alex pulls it to first, and Shaw will feed Blackburn. So the Giants get their first out, and the Royals have runners at second and third with 1 down. If you want to host your company, family, sports team, or other groups out at the ballpark for a special occasion, single game suites and party areas are now available for regular season games throughout the month of April and May. Call 816-504-4040 option 4 or email groupsales@royals.com for rates and availability. Salvador Perez comes up with 2 runners in scoring position. And that's a little bit outside.
Productive out by Alex Gordon. Pull that ball, move him over. See if Salvi can get one airborne.
And a little bit outside again. The home plate umpire is Todd Tishner. And if you're a Royals fan, you know about Todd. Born in Nebraska, but he grew up in Garden City, now lives in Holcomb, and is in the Garden City Community College Hall of Fame. Nice. As is Royals general manager Dayton Moore.
Tishner in because of being an outstanding major league umpire, or was it about his athleticism?
A run will score, and now a rundown with Morales in between second and third, and it's the second baseman Joe Panik tagging out Morales. So there are 2 down. No, he played ball at Garden City Community College.
Most umpires, they were athletes. Oh, I guess once an athlete, always will be.
So that'll go 6, 5, 4 to take care of Morales, and Salvi gets an RBI, and he's at first base with 2 down. And now Raymond Fuentes. One of the first guys, in fact, the first guy that I brought up in talking with Dale Swaim last half inning, and describing what we've seen too, that, you know, he's not built like a power hitter, but he has had a spring training where he has hit for power. He's hit 3 home runs, and yet we also saw him the other day that when the situation presented itself, he had a ground ball base hit into left field.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, most guys are trying to pull the ball, juice it. He just kind of feathered it out there and just picked up the ribbies, kept the line moving.
Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. .396 batting average, tied for the team lead with those 3 home runs and 12 RBIs, a .688 slugging percentage, and a .463 on base percentage.
Yep, those are the numbers you put up when you're trying to make a team. A couple guys in that situation here, and having been in that situation before, I can tell you it's a stressful time. It's especially this last week here. You're on guard. You're waiting for the little tap on the shoulder. You hope it doesn't happen, but the tap is inevitable. That's usually from a coach that says, hey, the skipper wants to see you. Ned wants to see you. And you kind of go, oh, and you walk to his office, you're thinking, well, you're saying some prayers, you're wondering, well, I wonder if I made the team, or I wonder if he's going to send me back. So it's a lot of anxiety, no question.
He will take a walk, and now Blackburn has walked 2, and that puts 2 on for Omar Infante. Well, you know, Fuentes, when spring training began, seemed like a guy who didn't have a great shot of making the club. Dyson gets injured. Now he's got a chance to kind of move into the mix as a 4th outfielder. And then some of the talk has been that not only has he graduated beyond, you know, a good possibility of making the team, but he's in perhaps where Dyson was before he got hurt, maybe in a platoon situation with Paulo Orlando. He could be seeing some time against right-hand pitching.
He could be in the opening day lineup on Sunday evening.
That's off of Blackburn's glove.
Thank you.
So no play, and the Royals will have the bases loaded with 2 down as Infante hits an infield single.
Yeah. Blackburn, he slowed that down just enough. I mean, had he let that ball go, that's a routine out. So Infante says thank you very much on his gallop to first. Yeah, hitters see that, they know. And you know what? Watching Infante, he's running well. He's looks like his legs are in good shape. Veteran second baseman.
On the ground to third. Nice short out play by Duffy and across the diamond to get Escobar. So the Royals get 1. They leave the bases loaded. And at the end of 2 in surprise, San Francisco leads 3-1. Days away from the Royals opener against the Mets, and then 7 days from now will be our first broadcast on Fox Sports Kansas City. Coverage begins, and that's not a typo, coverage begins at 6 a.m. a week from today. That'll be game 2 with the Mets. First time in Major League history 2 teams meet in the World Series one year and then open up the very next year. So there's the lineup beginning at 6 a.m. We'll also replay games 1 and 5 and then extended pregame show coverage. That's coming up a week from today.
Now, there was a shot before we came into the game here that was interesting to me. That is a cactus skeleton. Okay, they live a long time, but when they do fall out, they leave a skeleton.
And it looks like a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you folks that didn't know much about cacti.
Matt Duffy, Joe Panik, and Christian Arroyo coming up here in the 3rd inning. Duffy struck out looking in the 1st inning. A homegrown Giants player, Matt Duffy, and got his chance last year at 3rd base when the Giants let Pablo Sandoval go by way of free agency. They signed Casey McGee, and that didn't work out at 3rd, so it opened the door for Duffy, who ended up playing in about 150 games.
Yeah, and you know, they like him a lot. He can play 3rd base. We saw the nice play he made tonight on the backhand down the line. He got up with a nice strong throwing arm, but Bochy loves his offense. He's aggressive. He swings the bat. You know, you look at him, he doesn't look like he's real muscular and strong, but in baseball, it's all about length. It's muscles that are long, the leverage you can get. Long legs, long arms, and when you get extended on that baseball, it has a little extra pop, so you don't really need all the muscle. But this kid, he's aggressive, runs well.
Escobar makes the play up the middle. Duffy running hard, and Escobar throws him out. Well, when you think back on 2014, if you're a Royals fan, and the World Series with the Giants, of course, Madison Bumgarner's name is the first that would pop into your mind. But for me, a name that pops into my mind as well is this guy right here, Joe Panik. And with everything that Bumgarner did in Game 7, coming on early and pitching 5 scoreless innings out of the bullpen, when he came on, Omar Infante singled. So the first man that Bumgarner faced got a base hit, and then Eric Hosmer hit a rocket up the middle, and the Royals were an inch away from having runners at 1st and 3rd and the tying run at 3rd base with nobody out. But Joe Panik made a diving play up the middle and turned it into a double play. And I'll bet if you talk to Madison Bumgarner, as good as he was that postseason, that probably gave him a shot in the arm, because he didn't give up anything after that.
Nope. That's all it takes sometimes for a pitcher of his caliber to get a little jump start behind him. Somebody makes a great play like that, and you know, Panik, he hopefully has a long career and they get back to the World Series, but right now he'll never make a more important play.
And that was his 1st year in the big leagues.
Yeah, it's incredible, and that's a great experience game. Same way with YORDANO Ventura. He's grown immensely, matured a lot in the last couple of seasons. When you go to postseason or the World Series back-to-back years, and you grow 3 or 4 years in experience. He knows what it takes. He's been there. They've done it. Now they want to defend it. I was talking with Bochy before the game today. A little bit of chit-chat before this game started tonight, and I said, Boch, you know, the Royals were just 2 runs away from going to their 3rd, or winning their 3rd straight World Series title. You know that? And he goes, yeah, but it didn't happen, Hud, did it? I go, no, but you know, can you give the Royals any love? He goes, yeah, they're good. He goes, we'd like to see them again this year.
And it's one of those even-numbered years for the Giants, winning the World Series in 2010, 2012, 2014. Interesting, in 2000, all the years that they were defending their titles, so 2009, 2011, me take that back. 2011, 2013, and 2015, they didn't make it to the playoffs at all. Outside to Miguel Olivo, a former Royal. He singled and scored in the Giants' 3-run second inning. These two organizations are very, very similar. Line, base hit left field. So Olivo is 2 for 2, and the Giants have a pair of base hits with 2 down. But the Giants playing a bigger market, and yet the framework is really the same. They grow their own players for the most part. They have gone out and spent more money than the Royals have recently on free agency, but their core is from their system. They went out and got Johnny Cueto and Jeff Samardzija and Denard Span this past off season. But you know, I was looking at some notes on them before the broadcast tonight. They won their first World Series in 2010, at least in San Francisco. But in 2008, they used 16 rookies. So there was a point before all this where they had to, you know, shed some veteran players. They had to start all over again within their system. And 2 years later, they were winning their first World Series. And it sounds like the Royals back in 2011.
Yeah, and Dayton Moore will tell you that it's a process. It doesn't just happen overnight. Nothing does in this game. It just takes time. Patience. He uses that word a lot. And the other word that Dayton uses is positivity. You've got to stay positive and moving forward with your organization.
Up the middle and past Escobar. Arroyo rounds third. He will score on the base hit by Chris Shaw. And the Giants lead is 4-1.
Yeah, so Ventura cruised through that first inning. In the second inning, he started leaving his fastball up a little bit, and even this curveball is a hanger. And when you have a bunch of minor leaguers that are playing, that are hungry as can be to go to hacking, that's what you get. We're seeing it. Now, Ventura's thrown a lot of fastballs that have been getting hit, but in spring training, he doesn't care. He's working on his velocity, he's working on his spots. So if they hit it, great. You know, he's working on stuff. You might be saying, well, why doesn't he mix in a changeup once in a while? Well, it's because he's not working on that. He's working on his fastball and location. And these guys are hungry. I remember Jim Palmer came down to get some work against the AAA team when I was playing with the Yankees. Oh, guys were just, you had to wipe the slobber off their mouth at the bat rack. They couldn't wait. They were running to the bat rack because they wanted a piece of Jim Palmer. They want to go back home and say, yeah, I hit a home run off Palmer. One of my best friends hit a grand slam off him. That made his career. He never made the big leagues.
But you can always say he hit a grand slam off Jim Palmer.
Yeah, his name was Pete DeLana. First baseman from Fresno State that played. I think he got 1 day in the show, maybe a couple of days, but he didn't. He can say he made it, but played AAA a long time.
That ball's hit very well to center field, and all Lorenzo Cain can do is watch it clear the grass. Wow. This is the Royals' 14th year in surprise, and I don't know if I've seen a home run, even in Arizona, even with the wind blowing out, which it is right now, clear the grass. In fact, the kids aren't used to running into the shrubs and the flowers. Look at them just wrecking all those flowers.
It's an Easter egg hunt. They're looking for a baseball.
Austin Slater hits a 3-run bomb to center field.
In his previous at-bat, he got nicked on his hand and got hit by a pitch from Ventura. And man, he sent that ball. Cain just took one step and looked up, and now he's got the whole stadium looking for that baseball. The hunt is on. Look at that. That's beautiful. They're looking for that baseball hunt. It's not Easter. It's spring.
Look at that. They're still gathering out there. Watch where this ball lands.
Watch Lorenzo Cain. He took 3 steps. Oh,
all right, so what is that? That's 6.5 shrubs.
Yeah, 6.5 shrubs.
It's in between the 6th and the 7th shrub.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wish I had my telestrator.
So it's let's see, the guy with the backwards Phillies, that a red hat he's got right there? That's where it is, somewhere in there. This time of year with, you know, spring and all the gardening tips, I don't think 100 kids stomping on your flowers is anything that a green thumb would pass along. It's sure fun to watch.
Yeah, the groundskeepers, they're kind of freaking out.
Look at this ball.
That's going to stay fair.
And into the Giants bullpen. Ricky Oropesa, who hit a 3-run double in the second inning, hits a line drive home run to right. And YORDANO Ventura, who struck out 4 in the first 2 innings and had an easy 1-2-3 first, has now given up 8 runs in the last 2 innings.
Yeah. You can see it coming. These young men, they came to hack, and they're not missing anything. That's a high fastball, belt high, actually above the belt, and they are not missing. They're all looking to open some eyes. That ball stayed fair. So maybe you mix in a changeup now. That's probably what Salvy's saying. All right, that's enough of this. Changeup's his equalizer.
This is Ali Castillo.
A lot of pitches are up. That's what happens. You're not locating. And these young guys looking to impress.
He was really hitting the corners in the first inning.
Yeah.
There's the breaking ball right there, and again it's up.
Yeah, and it doesn't have much depth to it. Thin air here. It's hard to get your curveball to break where you want it. But give these hitters some credit. Man, you know, just because they're minor league players doesn't mean that they can't do what the big leaguers can, and they're showing it.
Full count.
Bruce Bochy sent all of his coaching staff back to San Francisco today. So he has some minor league players and minor league coaches with him. He's the lone big league coach left here in camp.
Escobar gets it over to Hosmer in time to end the inning. So the Giants send 8 to the plate and they score 5. Slater, they're still looking for that baseball in center field. And then Oropesa homers and San Francisco leads 8-1. With us, Rex Hudler just could not handle the fact that those kids could not find the ball, so he left the booth to go help them find the ball. And as soon as he left, that little guy with the striped hoodie on and I think a Cal Berkeley hat. Is that what that is? A Cal Berkeley hat? He found the ball. So at the moment, Rex Hudler is racing out to center field. The kids have all left, but the ball did not end up anywhere near where we saw it land. Like Moustakas at the plate, 2 balls and no strikes. So there he is, and just figured he'd look, and somehow with literally 30 or 40 kids combing that area, could not find the baseball, and he just picked a spot, and lo and behold, there it was. Now we thought it was in between the 6th and 7th shrub. See that right there? But it went quite a ways to the left of that, and he's got a souvenir. Now the question is, where is Hud? There he is. Look at that. That is a man on a mission. He's going to get out there. He's going to say, where did all the kids go? Moustakas takes a walk. It's the 3rd given up by Blackburn. Story of his life. Now we'll see if he can get anybody to understand why he's there and where he thinks the ball landed, where we thought the ball landed. And that's the guy who came up with it. You know, when a hitter strikes out and you say he's got to take that long walk back to the dugout, well, Hud's got to take that long walk back to the broadcast booth. I don't know where that kid is. Has Hud and that guy crossed paths? Okay, so he is in between the scoreboard and center field, and now Hud realizes he's got to hustle back. He's into a light jog. Here's Lorenzo Cain, and he fouls it off of his foot. 1 ball and 1 strike. So at some point here, he realized that a brisk walk wasn't quite going to cut it. Hey, Hud, can I get a picture on your way back to the booth? Sure, Ryan's got it handled up there. Don't worry about it. Fouled away by Cain. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'm sure there was a point while he was jogging back to the booth that he realized that he had to get his heart rate back down so that he wouldn't be huffing and puffing when he got back up here. And we hope that this inning extends so that we can get a play-by-play from his perspective. But he went from the broadcast booth right behind home plate all the way to the batter's eye in center field. And when he arrived, what was waiting for him was not what he expected. He expected 30 or 40 kids trying to find the ball, and he was going to participate in the search. But about 30 seconds after he left the booth, that little guy in the striped sweatshirt found it. Breaking ball, that's hit well to right center field. That will be down and off the wall. Moustakas was going on contact, and it'll be held at third by Mike Jershely. And Lorenzo Cain, who has really swung the bat well in spring training, and Dale Swain was talking about that when we were visiting with him. He goes the other way, and the Royals have runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. He got a hanging breaking ball, and then rather than trying to pull it, and there's that trademark backward bend in his follow-through. And now the Royals have runners at 2nd and 3rd for Eric Hosmer. There he is. A strike to Hosmer.
Darn it. I got out there just a little too late. Saw a kid running. Yeah, I got it. He run right by me, and I said, yeah, I got one too.
We watched the whole thing.
You did?
Yeah, we had you on camera.
No way.
On the way out there. We had the kid finding the ball.
Did I have my walk?
We had you walking back. We had you going to a jog. And we even had you stop for a picture with some fans.
Come on, it's all about
the
fans.
whole thing. There's the guy who got it.
Yeah.
And by the way, it was nowhere, look at that, it was nowhere near where we thought it was.
What? And you know what? It's why. Oh, wow. It kicked off that back wall.
Yep.
Because under those bushes, there's nothing. You could see what's under there. So it kicked off the wall and landed in the flowers.
Now,
nice
you were gone for about 30 seconds when that guy found the ball. So we knew, in fact, everyone watching, not just in Kansas City, but all around the country on the MLB Network, knew that you were going to go to an empty berm out in center field.
Yeah, I love the
not only empty of home run balls, but empty of kids.
Well, I could tell.
That's the part you wanted to experience more than anything else.
I did. I wanted to help him. I got under the board. I saw there was no kids out there, and I went, oh, yeah, they already found it. So, you know, but the air was nice, fresh, and cool. You know what it reminded me of? Being in San Francisco with the wind, the way it blows there. Not quite like Candlestick, but AT&T Park.
And that's not a short walk from here.
No, I did pretty well, and I'm not winded that bad either.
Okay.
I am hungry. Thought about getting something at the concession stand.
We had a camera on you the whole way. 2 walks and a double, and the Royals will have the bases loaded for Kendrys Morales. So Clayton Blackburn, who pitched all of last year at AAA. In fact, he had the lowest earned run average in the league at 2.85, making 20 starts with a big lead. Has walked 2 and given up a double, and now the Royals' leading RBI man from last year, Kendrys Morales, is at the plate.
Hey, was that visit less than 30 seconds?
We chatted with the umpires before the game tonight and started going over some of the rules changes from their point of view. 30 seconds is what a coach or a manager has the moment they step on the field to make a decision, whether to make a pitching change or the decision to leave them in the game and return back to the dugout. Outside to Morales. Spent some time talking about the new slide rule around second base.
Nice.
The neighborhood play, which now can be reviewed. Good fastball over the outside. 1-1 to Morales. He singled sharply to right field in the second inning.
Well, there'll be some changes this year, that's for sure. I bet we're going to see a lot of replays at second base. Second baseman got to keep their foot on the bag now.
And the play will be to first base. So MOUSTAKAS, who walked on 4 pitches to begin the inning, he will score. Morales drives in a run. Kane goes to third, and Hosmer moves up to second base. And that is the first out. And now 2 in scoring position for Alex Gordon.
You know, you mentioned Baumgartner last inning. Bruce Bochy was telling me that he pitched today. Pitched in the minor leagues through 85 to 90 pitches. And I said, well, how come he didn't pitch in this game? He said, it's because we can control it better. I said, did you play a AA team or an A-ball? He goes, no, it was an inter squad. So they had an inter squad game, and what he means by control it, you know, he can pull him out after, you know, 25 pitches or so, and then, you know, restart the clock and have him go back out there again, and you know, whenever he wants to, they can rest him whenever he wants to. They can control his outing. And said here at the big league games here, you can't do that. So he wanted to control him, and Baumgartner's been dealing with some neuroma on his left foot and some rib cage irritation early in the spring. So he's a little behind, but they still want him to be the opening day starter. So by pitching him in that minor league game, today, they were able to make sure he got his full work in.
You don't have to worry about him having a 32-pitch inning or something like that.
Right. And Bochy said he'd like to see the spring training rules change a little bit when it comes to that, when it comes to trying to get a pitcher ready. That way they can face big league hitters, but they can pull them out. But I don't know how that would work. It's a little over my head.
Breaking ball on 3-1. Alex grounded to first in the second inning.
Hey, ask White if he wants this to be his last hitter. One more hitter after this. One more after this.
Late movement. I think Alex, well, he flipped the bat, and that would look like he's upset with the umpire. He might be more upset with himself there.
Yeah, well, that's an excellent two-seam runner. Started in, back over the plate. This 23-year-old righty, 6'3", 230. Has got a nice future. Not one of these guys are going to blaze it in there, but he's
Eric Hosmer was held at third base. So Kane scores on the base hit by Salvador Perez. That was a good-looking swing. We were chatting with Dale Swaim, the Royals hitting coach, an inning or so ago, and Dale was talking about that Salvy's fighting some mechanical issues at the moment, but that was a nice.
Oh, short and compact. I mean, he was looking to go to right field. We've seen Salvy get in the last televised game go to right field. Watch Hosmer's effort. Love this. Third base coaches, and you'd love a guy that's coming all the way around the base, and then you can send him. You have the option to send him or keep him there, rather than a guy that slows down before he gets to the base. So Haas gave him a nice effort there. And believe me, it's tough on your legs when you're going full speed and you see the stop sign go. You got to lock them up, get back to the bag, just like Hosmer did. That's another ingredient that the Royals use, and that's their speed and the way they like to score first to third. You know, they go first to third, second at home. They run the bases. They're aggressive. They're not afraid to make mistakes. That's what you want. Guys that run tentatively, a little nervous about making a mistake, that upsets managers. They're not being aggressive. They're not letting it all out. Talking about Fuentes here hitting. He's one of those guys that Dale Swaim called a Royals type player because he's aggressive, because he runs hard and he's not afraid to take an extra base. One of the reasons why he's going to make this team. Good possibility.
Three and two.
Show you a few of his swings now. That's the nice bases loaded opposite field single he got the other day. So you know, like to see him getting the ball, getting deep on him, getting closer to the catcher's glove, and then he reacts with his quick hands.
Salvy runs, and it's foul past Rusty Kuntz. He said, hey, come on. Put that ball in between the lines.
Rusty is the get-back coach, and he also is the equipment coach. Look at all the shin guards, elbow pads, and everything he's got to hold over there.
Pulled foul again. You know, we've been discussing how baseball's trying to speed up the game. Baseball's also trying to go green. And I have a great idea that would be a way to move in that direction. Stop wasting paint on base coach areas.
Yeah, how about it? It's a good
I'll
call.
bet base coaches are in the painted area 2% of the game.
I agree. That's got a knock in it.
And an RBI. Fuentes drives in Hosmer. Salvy was running on the play, so he'll go first to third. And Fuentes continues his impressive spring training. That RBI gives him 13, and that leads the Royals.
Yeah, Blackburn, he kept coming inside, and hitters, you know, if pitch after pitch, if he's trying to get you in, you're looking in there. That ball drifted back over the plate, and he got the top of it and rolled it right through. Second bounce, man, that's the one that picks up speed, especially on that dirt here in Arizona.
And that will result in a pitching change. Clayton Blackburn is out after 2 2/3 innings. The Royals have scored 3 in the third. It is now 8-4. Blackburn allowed 1 run in the first 2 innings. He has been charged with 3 so far in the third. Fuentes takes off. No throw from Miguel Olivo. So a stolen base for Fuentes. And now runners at second and third for Infante. And that's hit well to left field. So Infante drives in 2. Perez and Fuentes, and it is 8-6.
All right, we got ourselves a spring training ball game. A lot of offense. Infante up there looking for a mistake out over the middle of the plate. Got one right down the middle. I mean, he hit it off the end of his bat. Ball didn't just explode down the line, but got enough to pick up those ribbies. We got ourselves a ball game.
And it brings up Escobar, who is the 9th Royal to bat this inning. Dan Slania, minor league player. Number 99. Escobar is flied to right and grounded out to third. High strike, 1-1. So that Slania pitched all of last year in A-ball, Class A San Jose.
Perfect. Slania loves being here. He's like them hitters. Pitchers, doesn't matter. You get a chance to pitch in a big league game on TV. You love that. That's something that will last the whole season. At the end of the season, you go home to your family and you say, hey, did you catch me in spring training?
And now 3 balls and 1 strike. And now Escobar walks. Well, for a team that doesn't walk very often, the Royals have walked 5 times in the first 3 innings. And now the guy who started all this, Mike Moustakas, with a 4-pitch walk, will bat for the 2nd time in the inning.
Look at that ball boy. He just went and relieved Rusty Kuntz, the first base coach, of all that equipment.
And did you see that some of the stuff that he had gathered belonged to Lorenzo Cain? That's how long the inning has gone. That bat boy was running back to the dugout.
Check out all that.
And Lorenzo Cain said, wait a minute, some of that stuff is mine.
Yeah, excuse me, you dropped something, sir. Yeah, and Locane's getting ready to get in that on-deck circle and says, that's mine. Oh, man.
Deep center field, and Mike Moustakas. 3-run home run. And the Royals, right after the Giants, get 5 in the top of the 3rd inning. The Royals come back and they get 8.
And listen to the Moose calls here in surprise. That ball was tattered and battered. Now, it didn't go as far as that other home run in the bushes there. Thankfully, they didn't need any help out there. The young men caught it on the fly.
So the Royals are down by, or lead by 1 after entering the inning.
Oh, man, was that loud.
Down by 7. And Cain, who doubled to right center field earlier in the inning, sends it to the glove of Slater to put an end to the inning. So the Royals send 11 to the plate. 8 score. And the Royals lead 9-8. And we've only played 3.
These cream.
Eight-run inning. Joe Goldberg back in the Royals dugout. Saw something very entertaining before the game. And I saw the bat boys before, the one that was just getting the equipment from Rusty. And it's not this one or the one we showed. There was another one. I don't know if he's disappeared. Maybe he's still on a mission, kind of a HUD-like mission, looking for something. And they sent him running around the ballpark. You guys have heard these pranks before. Well, he comes up to Rusty Kuntz, the Royals first base coach, before the game, and he says, "Are you Rusty?" He says, "Yeah." "Well, the Giants just sent me over and told me to ask you where the bullets to the radar gun are." Rusty says,
I never heard that.
"Well, they were here on the bench, but I think the bullpen coach, Doug Henry, took them, and he's out in the bullpen right now." So the kid goes all the way out to the bullpen. 5 minutes later, he comes back to Rusty. He says he said he had them, but he doesn't have them anymore. They're in Ned Yost's holster. Where's Ned Yost? So they point to Ned, who's signing autographs down the line. And he goes up and asks Ned Yost, do you have the bullets to the radar gun? And I couldn't hear what happened, but then I saw him making a beeline for the strength coach, Ryan Stoneberg, who sent him along his way. He may still be looking for the mysterious bullets to the radar gun. Proving, Ryan?
You can't beat fun at the old ballpark.
That's right.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now, you used to hear about finding the keys to the batter's box. That was the old thing they would do to kids, the bat boys that don't know. You know, they're just happy to get out there.
Right.
And they don't have no clue. They go to the umpire. You know, they ask the umpire, hey, can you find the key? Where are the keys to the batter's box? And then they send him out to the bullpen. They send him all over the ballpark looking for the key. And the poor kid, you know, just playing games. But just like you said, it's all about fun. Having a good time, breaking up the monotony. Especially this time of year, the spring training, these guys are ready to go. Bullets to the radar.
I hadn't heard that one before.
No, I never had either. I like it. Well, radar guns are a big thing now in the game. Check out you see the scoreboards, got the miles per hour on there. I don't know if there's any scouts that have any in the back of the screen. Usually they have their own. Because some radar guns are turned up a little higher than others. So they're not getting the exact read they want out of the velocity of the pitcher. Ooh, beauty there.
There was the Jugs gun and then the Ray gun, remember? Those are throwback brand names, and one was always, I don't remember which one. Maybe the Ray gun was, or the Jugs gun was faster than the Ray gun, whatever. Blanco runs, and it's line right to Infante. So that'll be an easy double play. So the bat boy was looking for the bullets to the radar gun, and an inning ago, you were going to go out there and help the boys find the ball. So there's the kid who found the ball, and you finally got out there. No kids left.
No, and I had my baseball there in my pocket.
Was anybody listening to you right there?
Yeah, I was kind of talking to myself, son.
Okay. Then a nice light jog, and then stop for a picture.
Well, look, I wanted to stop. I said the aromas with the food out there is amazing. Wind blowing. I want to stop and get something to eat. But you can tell by my physique I don't need to eat. Not quite in the spring training shape I used to be in.
Joe Panik has lined to center and grounded out to second base. The Giants scored 3 in the second and 5 in the third. They had an 8-1 lead, and the Royals scored 8 in the third inning. Three of those on a home run from Mike Moustakas. One and two on Joe Panik.
YORDANO wants to keep the lead now. You see, next pitch will be 75th. He's mixing in some more changeups. That's the equalizer. He's coming with a fastball here.
Up the middle, Infante, and it's off of his glove. So Panik is on with 2 down.
Showing some good range, taking 3 or 4 steps to his backhand side, just hit off the side of the glove.
And they do rule it a base hit.
A lot of fans remember, you know, Zobrist being such a big part of the last year's World Series, and now he's with the Cubs, of course. And some of them have forgotten that Infante helped the Royals get to the World Series in 14 and 15 last year. So this is a guy that Ned Yost is hoping offensively he can come back and add a little bit of numbers down in that 9-hole, but continue to play his good defense.
Hit deep to left field. That gets Alex Gordon to the wall, and that is the Giants' 3rd home run against YORDANO Ventura in 4 innings. And Christian Arroyo is 3 for 3. And now the Giants take the lead back. They have scored 10 runs in 3 2/3 innings against Ventura.
Yeah, it's the curveball and the fastball that the young Giants hitters are feasting off of. Watch this hanger. It's the top of the knees. And YORDANO, he's finding out what it's like pitching against the minor league lineup. Now, you're going in, you might think, all right, there's no big league names in there. But really, they're hungry.
And now Miguel Olivo drives it to left field, and Alex Gordon makes the play. Olivo had been 2 for 2. So the Giants with 10 runs, 11 hits, and 3 home runs in 4 innings against Ventura.
Humble.
Were the totals at the end of the game, they would be impressive totals, but we've played 3.5 innings, a combined 19 runs and 18 hits, and a combined 4 home runs have been hit. So it's been a tough night to pitch. And we're going to go down to the field right now and visit with Royals pitching coach Dave Eiland. Let's start with YORDANO Ventura. What would be of concern and what is of no concern tonight?
I have no concerns, Ryan, to be honest with you. Maybe that might sound a little bit crazy to some people, but YORDANO wasn't getting over his front side tonight. He was spinning off, so he wasn't able to get the ball down the zone consistently. But that's an easy adjustment, an easy fix. It's something we've had to address with him before, and it's something we'll get right back on tomorrow. And this kid's going to be fine. I'm not worried about it.
Good.
Yeah, and Dave, you know, in spring training, I was sharing with the people that he's throwing fastball, 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 and they're hitting it. And they were thinking, well, where's the secondary pitches? He's not looking for numbers in spring training, is he?
No. You know what we're looking for? What I'm looking for is the arm working correctly? Is it getting to the arm slot, you know, consistently? Are there any red flags with the way he's? Is he protecting anything when he's delivering the baseball? I don't see any of that with him. He just is plain and simple. He wasn't getting over his front side. He wasn't able to locate the ball down in the zone, and you know that's the end of it, really.
Dave, Hutt also brought up during one of the innings that you bring up a lot of minor league hitters that are just hungry, and this is their time to impress their manager, Bruce Bochy. And I don't know how many called strikes that they took in the first 4 innings, but there weren't many. They were up there hacking.
Yeah, they were, but you know, bottom line, he did make a lot of good quality pitches tonight. I don't care who the hitters are. You know, it's not going to be a very good night for you. But like I said, it's an easy fix. It's an easy adjustment. He knows it. He knows what he needs to do. He was trying to make the adjustment out there tonight, and he just couldn't do it. It was just one of those nights. But come a week from Friday, he's going to be ready. He's going to have a good year for us. So, there's always something with each one of these guys, and you address it, and they make the adjustment, and we continue to move on, and it's going to be no different with him.
Okay, somewhat related and maybe unrelated, but Hud and I were also discussing, the challenges with, the climate here. It's so dry, and you hear about, pitchers that, rely on movement or break with their secondary pitches. You're just not going to get it with this air here. So maybe not particularly for YORDANO, but do you have to caution guys that, don't overextend or don't do anything different here? Because, when we get up to Kansas City, the ball is going to do something different than it does down here.
Well, absolutely. But I mean, that really wasn't the issue tonight. I'm not going to, sit here and try and make any excuses for the climate or anything like that. He just, like I said, he wasn't finishing his pitches off. And I don't care who you are, what kind of stuff you have, or what climate you're in, results aren't going to be good. But, I never really looked for results in spring training. Like I said, I looked for how the arm's working. And are there any red flags there? And there's not. And you just got to keep him positive and keep working. But he's going to make the adjustment in the bullpen here in a couple of days, and he's going to get one more start on Saturday against Arizona, and touch him up there a little bit, and he'll be fine.
That ain't coming back.
Boy, we've seen some good distance tonight. Kendrys Morales hits the Royals' second home run tonight, and it's the 5th home run, and we're only in the bottom of the 4th inning. So the Giants had retaken the lead, and now it's 10-10 in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yep, one of those spring training games, no question about it. Hey, Dave, you're very excited, and you should be, about your pitching staff this year, your starting rotation, your bullpen. Okay, are we better than we were last year?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're better. We're deeper. We're in a good spot, Hud. I mean, it's, I'm as excited about this year as anybody else, or more so, and we're in a good spot. There's going to be some bumps along the way. There always is. We play 162 regular season games. We're going to go through some stretches where it's not real pretty, but at the end of this thing, I think we're going to be right where everybody wants us to be and expects us to be.
Alex grounds out to the second baseman, Panic, and there are 2 down. Dave, we're going to put on the screen right now the announced 5-man rotation. I think it was understood that Volquez, Kennedy, and Ventura were in, and boy, at least from a personal standpoint, it was great to see Chris Young to come back, and then Chris Medlin also got a spot in the rotation.
Yeah, we're solid 1 through 5, and I think the big thing for us is, for Ned and I and the team in general, is each night we run one of those guys out there. We have a pretty good idea of what we're going to get, and it's going to be the same, the same roadmap for us as it's been the last couple of years. Just get us to the middle innings, and keep it close. And when the bullpen doors open, we feel pretty good about things. So, but I think you're going to see our starters pitch better, and our bullpen's going to continue to do what they've been doing the last couple of years.
We got some strong arms in that bullpen again. Danny Duffy looks like he's going to settle in. Maybe hit some middle relief for you. And of course, the last spot or 2 haven't been announced yet, but you're pretty pleased overall with some of the extra arms that you brought into camp this year.
Yeah, like I said, we're deep. We have depth. We have a full year of Luke Hochevar, a healthy Luke Hochevar, which we didn't have a year ago at this time. We've added Joaquin Soria, who can, has been one of the best relievers in baseball the last several years. And of course, you have Wade and Kelvin, and Danny's going to be down there. We're going to see him this next inning. So, we got a couple more guys that we're going to have, and we got guys in AAA that we expect to come up and help us too. So, like I said, we're in a good spot.
Fuentes to left field, a long run for Castillo, and he is there to make the play in foul territory. Do you have any more time, Dave, or you got to focus on your next pitcher on the mound?
Yeah, I got to go to work here. Danny's coming in. I got to go to work here and lock in on him. But always a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, we
guys.
appreciate your time, Dave.
All right.
Thanks,
you.
Super Dave.
You got it, buddy.
Royals have tied the game on the Morales home run. It is now 10-10.
Hi, checking.
Danny Duffy is out of the Royals bullpen, and we learned a few days ago that Danny will begin the season in the bullpen, and he comes on in a 10-10 tie in the top of the 5th inning. A 7.5 earned run average over 12 innings. He has struck out 12 and walked 5.
Boy, Dave wasn't wanting to give any excuses for Giordano, was he?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he's big in being accountable. I mean, when he first got here in 2012, Dave Island, you know, a lot of the culture here, they were losing, you know, and Dave was trying to turn their mentality around. It's a long run for Alex. Oh man, good try. And he was big on accountability. He'd read the newspaper where a hitter took one of his pitchers deep a couple of times, and the pitcher would say in the newspaper, well, it was a good pitch. I thought I made a good pitch, and it wasn't. So Dave would hold a meeting and say, hey guys, look, if you make a bad pitch, say it. Be accountable. Don't try to make excuses for yourself and say, oh, I made my pitch. You did make your pitch. So
or even if you really believe in your heart that you made a good pitch and it results in a home run, it just doesn't sound good.
Right.
You know, I mean, keep that to yourself.
Yeah, and that's part of changing the environment from losing to winning, like the Royals have done so successfully.
4 would be the first guy.
1-1 Duffy to Chris Shaw, and Duffy's an important guy. We had Dayton Moore with us up here in the booth a couple of days ago, and the rotation had been announced, and we asked Dayton, you know, is this a long-term thing for Danny Duffy, or are there still hopes of him, you know, rejoining the starting rotation? There's a good-looking breaking ball to Shaw. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and Dayton certainly left the door open for Danny to be in the rotation. But I asked Dave, and I had a pretty good idea that he wouldn't want to hang around with us for another half inning. Didn't matter who's on the mound. He wants to be able to focus on his pitcher without having to talk to us. But Danny's one of those guys. Danny's one of those guys that, you know, that the clock's ticking as far as what his role will eventually be.
Yeah. When you have a golden arm like he does, you can use him anywhere. Good velocity, low to mid-90s, especially out of the bullpen, and he can just turn it loose. He's working on his curveball a little bit here. He's got a good bender, occasional changeups, but mainly fastball, curveball. When he comes in and with some guys on base, and they're expecting some strikeouts out of him.
A delayed call, but it looked like a strike. And Duffy gets Shaw for the first out of the 5th inning.
Yeah, Salvi with that good low target. Painted the black on that one. Great spot.
And this is Austin Slater. He hit the impressive home run to straightaway center field in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, this is the one that got lost in the flowers.
Little bit below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Now 3-0, and Duffy in frustration pounds his hand into his glove. And a 4-pitch walk after the strikeout. No, Royals spring training. The games here wrap up Friday when the Royals face the Diamondbacks at 8:30. Before the game, get ready for the regular season with the Royals season preview. We'll talk to the players about building a dynasty in Kansas City, and sit down with Ned Yost as he looks ahead to 2016. Royals season preview Friday at 8 p.m. following the Royals and Diamondbacks at 8:30 on Fox Sports Kansas City. Here's Ricky Oropesa. And that's high for ball one. Oropesa drove in 3 with a double in the second inning. And then he followed the Slater home run with a home run to right in the third. And that home run was just a line drive to right field.
Yeah, he stayed on top nicely. That's top spin on him. He got every bit of that.
And now Duffy missing down and out of the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, just missing. Pitching out of the bullpen would seem to fit Danny's personality. He's a very high energy, very passionate guy. He has had to at times fight his emotions as much as he has his mechanics. And there's the possibility of, pitching 2 or 3 days a week instead of 1 time a week. And what makes good bullpen guys for a 1 starter, Hud, you can go from being a 3 or 4 pitch pitcher to a 2 pitch pitcher. Just
right.
Pick your 2 best pitches.
That's right. When you have his type of velocity, you can be highly successful, and he has been.
Runner going, and the ball gets by Escobar. The throw beat Slater, but the ball goes under Escobar's glove and into center field. So a chance at a strikeout, throw out double play. The Royals get the strikeout, but a stolen base, and with the error, Slater goes to third.
Salvi put this right on the bag. I think Escobar thought it was going to bounce, but Esky whiffed it. Man, that ball was perfectly thrown right there. And it did bounce, but Esky couldn't get his glove on it.
And the batter is Ali Castillo. He is 0 for 2 so far, with a strikeout looking and a ground ball to short. Late on a fastball. That went at 95 miles an hour, 1-1. Foul tip, 1-2. Dave Island was just telling us a half inning ago about how deep the Royals pitching staff is. Perhaps deeper than last year. It just shows you how the game has evolved. As we've covered before, the Royals had the fewest innings in the major leagues last year by a starting rotation. Well, it wasn't that long ago that was a sign of a bad year.
Right.
If your rotation wasn't chipping in among the leaders, you were not having a good season. But the Royals and other teams have turned that around. Strike 3 over the outside. And that's because the bullpen was so deep and so balanced and so good. Duffy strikes out 2. He walks the man. 10-10 tie to the bottom of the 5th. Kenny Duffy struck out the side. I said 2, but he struck out the side working around a walk. And now it'll be Omar Infante leading off the bottom of the 5th inning in a 10-10 tie. The Giants scored 3 in the 2nd, 5 in the 3rd. They had an 8-1 lead. The Royals got 1 in the 2nd. They scored 8 in the bottom of the 3rd. Giants got 2 in the 4th. The Royals got 1 in the 4th. And here we are. 5 home runs, 20 runs, and 19 hits in the first 4.5 innings.
You like offense, you like this game.
Infante has 2 hits and 2 driven in. Facing Chase Johnson, who came on in the bottom of the 4th inning and gave up the home run to Kendrys Morales as we were visiting with Royals pitching coach Dave Island. Into center field, and Infante is 3 for 3.
He's been raking coming into this at bat. Here's what Infante and Colon have been doing. Seeing who can get that second base job secured. Infante 350.
Now strike to Alcides Escobar. 0 for 2. He did walk and score in the 3rd inning.
Chase Johnson's showing a good fastball. He'll go 92 to 96. Nice little breaking ball to go with it.
Escobar making contact with 2 strikes, and he drops that in front of Blanco in center field. So Escobar has his first hit, and the Royals have 10 hits tonight.
Yeah, he's one of the best at it. Call that a booty knock. Throws that backside out, gets a little off balance, but he keeps his hands back and is able to throw that head of the bat out there and drop it in. He does that with the best of them. Salvi's pretty good at them bad ball breaking pitches too.
Mike Moustakas takes low.
Moose staying inside of this one. Ooh, man, that ball was down and away, and he just crushed it.
And no drama finding the souvenir baseball this time.
Nope. Kid made a nice barehanded grab.
Two 2-0.
Watch his two-handed catch. Young Giant fan. Good concentration.
Hunter Pence.
Wow. Yeah. There's a thrill.
And now 3-0 on Moustakas, who already has a 4-pitch walk tonight. Or was that called a strike? I don't think so, but Moustakas had a stunned look on his face there for a moment. No, it's 3-0. And he's swinging, and he goes the other way, and that is a fair ball. Infante scores. Escobar rounds third. He will score. Mike Moustakas has driven in 5. And the Royals have started the 5th inning with 3 straight hits. 2 have scored, and they lead 12-10.
When I saw them setting up outside, I was about ready to say, here comes a base hit to left field. Moose keeping his hands in so well now, as he's found himself as a hitter. Took him the whole season last year to kind of get his inside-out swing working. And the previous 2 seasons, he struggled to hit 200 because he tried to pull every ball. This is a young man that's really made some adjustments that's helped him and his team immensely become the world champions that they are.
And now Lorenzo Cain with Moustakas at second base. Nobody out. And Cain, and that was off of Johnson's foot. And that's good for an infield single. Cain's second hit tonight. Moustakas goes to third. And the Royals have opened the 5th inning with 4 consecutive hits.
Yep, if I could hit off the bottom of his shoe. Best part there. Didn't get any flesh.
And here's Eric Hosmer. He's been on base twice with walks, and both times he came around to score. So on the night, we visit with Dale Swaim, the Royals hitting coach, and we discuss the Royals' low total of walks. They have walked 6 times.
Half of those on 3-2 counts.
Blocked well by Miguel Olivo. Clayton Blackburn went the first 2 2/3 innings. He gave up 6 runs. Dan Slania went a third of an inning. He gave up 3 runs. And now Chase Johnson has given up 3 in 1+ inning. And now he's fallen behind Hosmer, 3 balls and 1 strike. None of the 3 Giants pitchers the Royals have faced tonight pitched in the big leagues last year. 3-2. Hosmer checking with Todd Tishner, asking if he swung at a strike.
Yeah, just a tad out in front of that. Paz uses the whole field so well. His power is left center field. Straight away, we saw him hit some bombs last year. And he gets extended. That ball travels. Uh-oh. Tried a little trick move there. Lorenzo Cain started going.
Right-hand pitcher no longer can fake to third and go to first, but he can go to third. Pretty good recovery by Cain. Now Lorenzo runs. Hosmer is down on strikes. Cain will take second base. And Johnson has his first out at the bottom of the 5th inning.
Good pitch. Changeup.
Your company can join current and former Royals players at the Royals Charity Celebrity Golf Tournament on Monday, April 18th. It's at Shadow Glen in Olathe. Whole sponsorships and foursomes are still available. Send an email to royalscharities@royals.com to reserve your company's spot for a day of golf. Ball one to Kendrys Morales with Moustakas at third, Kane at second. Morales has driven in two. He hit an impressive home run to right center field in the fourth inning.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bomb. Bochy's infield halfway. Halfway in there. Like to get Moustakas at the plate, but then with the Lorenzo Cain at second base. Here's that homer. Oh man, that was elevated. That's belt high. What a difference this lineup looks like with him in it. Switch hitting power. Led the team in RBIs last season. Really gave Eric Hosmer some protection. Had to pitch to him. Morales just got big hit after big hit. Their two-out rallies were impressive. They just were relentless on pitching, man. It didn't matter. They beat the best pitchers that are out there. A lot of aces. It was a legitimate World Series win for these guys. They earned it.
And it's fouled away, and you're talking about big hits with two outs. Nobody in the American League drove in more runs with two outs than Kendrys Morales. I hope that guy's okay.
Went hard.
He got kind of pinned under a table.
It's amazing what a fan will do for a souvenir baseball.
53 two-out RBIs for Kendrys Morales. And with the infield in halfway, Moustakas has to hold as Panic throws out Morales, and now there are two down. Only Nolan Arenado of the Colorado Rockies had more two-out RBIs in the major leagues last year. And there's Chin-Ming Wong. He's getting ready for the top of the sixth inning. So second and third with two down to Alex Gordon, who is 0 for 3. To the screen. Good swing at a fastball. 1-1. So Alex is more upright this year.
I noticed. I could tell when Dale had a little bit of sit down time with the world champion hitting coach, and he talked about wanting to lift and drive those curveballs to the opposite field, and that's allowing him to do that by standing up. He's able to leverage those pitches. He's not going to try to pull him and hit him on the ground. Dale wants him to get him airborne.
Curveball got away from him. 3-1. I remember when Alex first got to the Royals, he had a very widespread stance. So he was down, his eye level was down, not necessarily because he was bending at the waist, but just because his feet were so wide.
Well, he's always had that open front side there. He kind of able to clear his hips on pitches inside. But it's nice to see him working on something here in spring training. Another walk.
That's 2 allowed by Johnson. And now the Royals have walked 7 times in 4+ innings. And they're loaded up for Salvador Perez. Grounded to the right side, and that's under Shaw's glove and into right field. That'll get 2 to the plate. Moustakas and Kane. And that's 4 runs driven in for Salvador Perez.
And, you know, the smile just tells it all about who he is. These guys enjoy playing baseball. They play with joy. They have fun. Salvi again taking a pitch down the middle, going to the opposite field. That's a good sign. Letting the ball travel deep. Picking up some more RBIs. And for you Salvador Perez lovers, you'll be happy to hear this. He told me today that I could say that he's buying a house in Kansas City. And I said, now where is it going to be? No, don't give him my address. He said, I'm not going to give your address, Salvi. But he said it's somewhere near the ballpark. My second home. So that's great.
You're here to buy a car. What would help is simply being able to
Big night for the Royals with 14 runs, 13 hits, having a lot of fun. Salvador Perez right in the middle of the offense and the fun. I don't know if he's trying to get a pinch runner. Maybe Ned Yost let him know that he does not need a pinch runner.
Yeah, no, he's looking towards Jershely over there. He wasn't looking in the dugout. Maybe it was a fan he was waving to. I don't know. He's quite a fan favorite. Let's see what Fuentes can do.
This is the second inning in the last 3 that the Royals have batted 9. Fuentes into center field. That drives in a run. Alex is around third. Perez stops at second. And the Royals have come up with 5 in the 5th inning and lead 15-10. The Giants led 8-1 at the end of 2.5 innings.
Yeah. How about this comeback? But watch this swing. This is impressive. Off a lefty that's throwing 3/4 sidearm. Okay. You would expect him, his front side, to leak out a little bit, but he stayed inside of that baseball nicely. I mean, that's a good sign. If he can show he can hit lefties, and he gets hot, he could be in there every day if he takes swings like that off of southpaws.
It's out to the shortstop Arroyo. Close, but out. So Fuentes has 2 hits, 2 runs scored. The Royals send 10 to the plate in the 6th inning. They score 5 and lead by 5. Chien-Ming Wang takes over in the top of the 6th inning. And he's a guy that has gone from the fringe to right in the middle of the discussion on the Royals pitching staff.
That's right, and he should. With that 93 to 95 mile an hour sinker he's got, man, I'll tell you, he's a ground ball machine, and that bodes well when you got gold all over that infield for the Royals. Look at that sinking action. He's found his arm slot, and we just missed talking about him with Dave Island, but Dave will tell you that he has opened up a lot of eyes. He's this year's Ryan Madson.
Now, it's been a while, but that third line, 38 wins, back-to-back 19-win seasons for the Yankees in 06 and 07. That was the most in the major leagues. And Dave Island has said he looks a lot like that guy, and Dave Island would know because he was pitching coach for the Yankees during part of that time. Wong is the third Royals pitcher. YORDANO Ventura went 4. Danny Duffy pitched a scoreless 5th, and Danny is standing by with Joel.
Well, it's not a night with a lot of scoreless innings, and Danny did have that scoreless inning. Good to be able to visit with you as always. You've been through a lot of these spring trainings now. What's different just being with this group, these guys that you've come up with being world champions now?
It's been awesome. You know, there's no lack of confidence at all. We, to say the least, we definitely are very confident in what we're capable of doing. It's just about finishing up our work here and getting back to KC.
You said at the start of spring training that you'd be happy in whatever role. Doesn't make a difference. And you've always been that way, the ultimate team player. But I also sense from you that you enjoy the bullpen, that you like this role. What do you like about coming out of the pen?
You know, it's a different animal. There's nothing easier, so to speak, about it. But I think my game definitely fits it. You know, you come in and just, you know, give it everything you have and not have to worry about, you know, fatigue in the later innings. And, you know, I've had a track record of throwing quite a few pitches early on and, you know, losing my legs in the last few. And I could just come out of the pen and, you know, I have the utmost confidence in my stuff. And, you know, if I have my 100% out there, it's just going to be really good.
And it's not as simple as just going out there and airing it all out. At the same time, you can dial up that fastball right away, mix in what you wanted to. Mindset-wise, what are you thinking when you come out of the pen versus the rotation?
Just attack. Just attack. With all my pitches, you know, I've spoken a lot with Wade Davis and Coach Var and a couple other guys who have been there and done that. And, you know, there's something to be said for, you know, picking their brains and coming in with the mindset that they come in with. And obviously, they have, you know, elite stuff. And, you know, anything you could learn from them is good. So that's the mentality I have, is just come in and attack.
Plus, I don't want to say you're quirky, and I don't want to insult lefties. I'm one also. But it would seem like you've got the attitude to fit in and have some fun in a bullpen, too.
Yeah, we have a good time down there with Doug and Cody. We have a blast. And, you know, when the bell rings, everybody's locked in. Everyone's ready to go. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun group to be around. It's a really, really huge blessing to be able to be a part of it.
Now, I said I don't want to call you quirky, but then again, maybe I should, because there was the whole bear suit thing. All right, I don't know if you were surprised it blew up the way it did, but let's be honest, everybody in Kansas City wonders about the bear suit. So can you let people know?
Yeah, it's back in its hibernation in Kansas right now. So, well, hopefully we'll be able to bring it out like the tradition every year. That just happens when you win. So we had a good time with that, didn't we?
There's no real explaining it. It was an honor to be able to put it on, and your answer was it's a bear suit, Joel.
Yeah, that was it. You know, I didn't really know what to say when you asked me what it was. I mean,
it's a bear suit.
It's pretty self-explanatory, but we had a good time with that, man. That was cool.
Real quick before we let you go, you've had a chance to see Chien-Ming Wang. The guys were just saying he might be this year's version of Ryan Madson. What makes him so good?
He's nasty. He comes in. I mean, his sinker is just phenomenal. Everything that he throws off of his fastball is great. He's just he's been around for a while, and he's proven himself on multiple occasions, and just had a great spring. So he's been fun to watch. He's been another guy to, you know, really take some things from.
Looking forward to seeing you all year, and hopefully the bear suit. That means we're seeing October.
That's right. That's right. Sounds good. Thanks.
The bear suit comes out of hibernation in October. Rusty Kuntz just yelling, "Thanks for the 0, Duff, guys."
It's a bear suit, Joel. I'll never forget that. Danny, what are you wearing? It looks like a bear. Whoa. It's a bear suit, Joel.
Well, we saw what Chien-Ming Wang can do on that little ground ball to the shortstop there, Mondesi, and that's what he does. bring him in with runners on. You can get a ground ball double play out of him.
Royals have made almost complete changes. The only Royal that is still on the field that was there when the game started was Salvador Perez, but Terrence Gore, Paulo Orlando, and Travis Snyder in the outfield. Whit Merrifield, Raul Mondesi, Christian Colon, Cody Decker are on the infield. Fouled away by Joe Panik, and it's 2-2. You had mentioned that Bruce Bochy had sent all of his coaches to the Bay Area, and I thought, well, that's kind of soon, but tomorrow they play at Sacramento, and then they have 3 games in the Bay Area before the regular season begins, all against the A's.
Yep, a lot of the players went with them.
So this is their last Cactus League game. And now Panik is down to first with a 2-out walk. The Royals tomorrow will be here against the Rangers. Then they have an open date on Thursday, and then they will play their so-called big stadium warm-ups here in the Valley against the Diamondbacks. There'll be at Chase Field on Friday night, Saturday afternoon.
Love you.
And you can catch the Friday night game on Fox Sports Kansas City on the air at 8:30 Central Time. Brandon Bednar is the pinch runner at first base for Joe Panik.
Chin-Ming Wong, he's the kind of guy that you can use him out of that bullpen for sure. Maybe he can eat up 2-3 innings, but then also he can be a starter for you.
On to see over to Colon, and that ends the inning.
The ground ball out.
To schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by the Surprise Recreation Campus, the campus of champions. We'll take another shot at it.
Hey, that's a beautiful moon.
That away
over the desert. I mean, it's great here. Love it.
Adalberto Mejia is the new Giants pitcher. And the Royals here in the bottom of the 6th inning will have Alcides Escobar. You take that back. Raul Mondesi, Whit Merrifield, and Paulo Orlando. And as they bat, we will hear from Joel.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Joined right now by Raymond Fuentes. What a spring training he has had, leading the team in RBIs, and still just 25, just turned 25 years old. What's gone so well for you here in spring?
I think the key is all about this is just to have fun. Just go day to day and worry about what you can control and just have fun. I mean, it's a great group of guys to be around, so it makes it a lot easier.
You can only control what you can control. We were talking about that. But yet you want to be able to make an impression, obviously, too. You got up real briefly last year, but didn't get a chance to get in. Wow, nice play out there on the diving catch. So what was the mindset coming in here to spring training, and especially once Dyson got hurt?
I really didn't think about Dyson's injury. I mean, it's sad for us to to lose a player like that. But the main thing I thought about this year was just to play ball the way you know how to do it, and I think it's been paying off a lot. And just like I said earlier, just have fun. I mean, baseball it's a game. It's not a job. Or for me, it's a game. So just have fun and just go 100% every day.
A guy that grew up in Puerto Rico and some ties, I believe, to a former and very famous Kansas City Royal, a guy that's been around the league a long time. Tell our viewers about that.
Yeah, Cosmo Beltran. I mean, he's a great guy. I think he's my inspiration, and baseball-wise, I wanted to follow his footsteps ever since I saw him play. And I mean, he's taught me a lot, anything about baseball, what to expect every year. So I thank him a lot. And
well, there is a shot by another guy that has had a phenomenal spring, Whit Merrifield, with the double, the jack of all trades. But he gets the applause here from Ray Fuentes, Raymond Fuentes, a teammate of Whit's at times last year too. But Carlos, cousins and a guy that's been an inspiration to you.
Yeah, I mean, he's my mom's first cousin. He's my second cousin, and he's taught me a lot. We've had some workouts together. We've had talks together, and he's been great help.
I want to know what you think it could be like, and I know nothing's official yet, but if you were to make this team and be there on Sunday night, national game, flag going up. I mean, you watched these guys last year. You were up briefly with them. What would that mean to be on this opening day roster?
I think it'll be awesome. I mean, it's any baseball player's dream to make the team on opening night, especially this team since we're defending champs right now. So it'll be a unique experience for me. I mean, I've been working hard for this, and everything we've been working with, it's paying off. So I think we got the opportunity right now, and but other than that, I'm just going to let the team decide on what they're going to do.
Well, some more strong contact. That one, though, is a line out. We do have a play at third, and Merrifield is in. Raymond, thank you so much for the visit. Congratulations on a great spring, and we're looking forward to following you this year.
All righty, thank you. I hope I make it.
All right, that is Raymond Fuentes. What a spring he has had. And guys, sometimes we forget to him, and he's a former first-round pick, but just recently turning 25. A lot of baseball ahead of him.
He's looked impressive with his bat in the few games that I've seen down here, staying inside the ball. He's under control. He's not swinging from his heels. He's taking what the pitchers are giving him. And, you know, that's the important part of his job, is to hit, obviously. But I'm impressed with his running. I like how aggressive he is. And just to play earlier here in this game, watch him. He's going to almost beat this out. So he's not just giving in. He wants to beat this ball out. So that kind of hustle, what Dale Swain talked about, him being in being a Royal type player, he's a perfect fit.
This is Cody Decker. We were discussing that the other day, and how things have changed with the Royals, where, you know, a player would come up and say, you know, this guy's got some good speeds, got some good power, you know, good defensive player, and the answer would be, yeah, but I mean, can he hit? I mean, come on, can he really hit? Well, now what it means to be a Royal, if a guy can really hit, the next question is, can he play defense? You know, can he run the bases? Because being able to just hit doesn't cut it on this team.
Nope. You got to defend. And if you have any kind of speed, believe me, as loose as Ned Yost is with those steals and running, man, I mean, we're going to see him running around them bases at the K. I see it coming.
Decker walks. So runners at first and third with two down against Mejia, and now Tony Cruz will hit for the first time. Join Major League Baseball, new era, and the 30 clubs as we celebrate opening day. Make sure to wear your favorite cap on Monday, April 4th, or in the Royals case, Sunday, April 3rd. Take a photo and share it on social media using #CapsOn for a chance to win prizes. Upstairs to Tony Cruz.
Tony Cruz had a nice career over in St. Louis, backing up Gold Glove catcher Yadier Molina. And then he became available, and the Royals picked him up.
And he had a bigger role than normal last year when Molina injured his thumb, and Cruz became the everyday guy.
Yep, the only thing that's hindering him is he has an option. And what that means is the team can send you back to the minor leagues and not lose you multiple times during the season. So, but we don't know yet. Those are some of the decisions that Ned and his staff will make later on this week. Ned hopes to have his roster set by Friday, he said.
Hit well and foul. The backup for Yadier Molina this year, Brian Pena.
Oh, that's right. Solid backup guy. Good for him.
And 3-2.
Nice to have an experienced big leaguer like Cruz. Solid catcher, good signal caller, good arm. He can hit a little bit.
Decker takes off, and the off-speed pitch gets Cruz to end the bottom of the 6th inning. So we go to the 7th in surprise. It's the Royals 15 and the Giants 10. 15-10 Royals, and that's through just 6 innings. Everyone in the starting batting order has scored at least 1 run. Many have had big nights, but the biggest belongs to Mike Moustakas.
Yeah, the Moose is loose here in Surprise. Like most spring trainings, Mike Moustakas has no problem hitting down here. He loves it. I like to see him going to the opposite field. You saw the home run to center field. That double down the line knocked in a pair. He's continuing to show Ned Yost and the crowd and the fans that he deserves to hit in that number 2 spot. That's what you want out of your number 2 hitter. The way he can bunt, the way he can move runners when he's asked to, and the fact that he utilizes the whole field now. Moose has found himself a nice slot in that order.
This is David Huff. He is the Royals' 4th pitcher.
Something we don't see too often down here is anybody with sleeves on. It's a little chilly.
1-2 on Miguel Olivo. David Huff was in the Dodgers organization last year, most of the season at AAA. And that's fouled away. He also spent 3 games at the big league level. Let's go back down to the Royals dugout and check in with Joel.
All right, joined right now by everyone's favorite first base coach, Rusty Kuntz, who just pointed out to me that he's now double mic'd because he's wearing a microphone for the Royals. Now he's got us, and he's filling stuff out, and he's going to direct the outfield too. He's a man of many abilities. Multitasking at its best. All right, Rusty, what have you seen here this spring with this championship group?
Well, in particular, Locaine. Locaine is a legit 3-hole hitter for me now. You know, he was a 3-hole hitter in training the last couple of years, but this year he's really proven that he belongs in that role, and it's great to have that kind of speed and that kind of pop at the top 3 in your order, especially after Moose keeps swinging and hitting the ball like he's doing. It's going to take a couple of gappers and stuff like that away from what he does, but he's been really impressive for me anyway.
And the outfield play, you have Gordon back. You know, we've heard the story from Ned Yost talking about how relieved, but he never could really picture Alex going somewhere else. What about for you? You've coached this guy. You were part of the transformation down in Omaha. What did it mean when you saw him coming back?
Well, I became a better outfield coach again. That one of those kind of deals, because anytime Alex is on the DL or he's not on this team or whatever, you know, one of those kind of deals, I could not imagine him not being on this club. I mean, he means so much to us, and he brings so much every day, you know, on and off the field, that kind of a thing. Great leader by example, you know, very quiet guy, but, you know, you can see, you know, the intensity on his face, and it just energizes and brings everybody up to another level when he's around him.
He had 1 injury, and Gerard Dyson, hold on, we got to shift the outfield here a little bit. We're moving center field just a smidge.
Yeah, we got a lefty-righty matchup, and this guy's killing us, whoever number 82 is.
Slater, it's Slater.
Okay, Slater, yeah. He's already got a home run, a double. I don't know, he's going for the cycle here, and he's probably going to end up in Sacramento tomorrow when they go, so, oh my goodness.
Good old 82. That sounds like a number you've worn before.
Well, close.
You got your number back.
Well, yeah, well, for now anyway. The new slide rule, see? The new slide rule in effect right there. Don't slide. And then they can't get you for not sliding, because that is a rule. You don't have to slide in the second. So I guess he's going to take it to another level or whatever. But
it is also 15-10 in the 7th inning.
Well, and finally, it's the good guys. That's the good part about it. But yeah, I like where we're at right now. I think Ned, you know, with a combination with Waka Waka and, you know, Pedro.
Did you just call him Waka Waka?
Waka Waka. He's a Waka Waka. So they spend so many hours in there trying to put together a club that, you know, represents us well enough during spring training, but, you know, you just can't kill your main guys. And I think they've done a great job this spring training, preparing them, giving them enough innings, giving them enough rest. And now, you know, we're starting to put it together in the last 4 or 5 games. And it's not an easy job. It's not an easy chore. But I think that between the 3 of them and putting the product on the field that, you know, at least made us competitive during spring training, although the record doesn't show that. But the right guys have got the right amount of rest, and now they're getting to play, and you can see the energy that they have tonight.
Well, there you go. Well done, Rusty. Thanks for multitasking with us. We'll let you get back to your other duties on the other microphone.
All right, thanks, Joe.
All right, that's Rusty Kuntz. Royals up 15-10 as we head to the middle of the 7th in Surprise.
(15-10) to the bottom of the 7th inning. Some people can barely stand it to watch. They just can't take it anymore. That is a fan who prefers a pitching duel. They just said, that's it, I can't watch anymore.
They're happy.
Can't take it. Terrence Gore will lead off against Mejia. This is Gore's first at bat. It's interesting what Rusty said, and I hadn't considered this, that as Gore hits it to deep short, no chance. He has an infield single. And on to begin the bottom of the 7th inning. But so with the new sliding rule that has taken from the base runners some ability to take out a middle infielder to break up a double play. They can still do it, but there are more restrictions. And Rusty said that, you know, reminding us that you are not forced to slide when you go into second base, that this might be a way for runners to disrupt middle infielders.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind that infielders, in order to protect themselves, they take the ball out of their glove and they throw it right through the sternum of the runner or right at his face. And so if he doesn't get down, he's going to have a ball sandwich, and it's not going to taste very well. So, you know, that was a play. It's 15-10 here in the spring training game. I don't think he was intending to break up a double play by going in, standing up. But we're going to see some of that this year. It'll be interesting as the game continues to evolve. And, you know, I really appreciate the fact that that Major League Baseball doesn't make major wholesale changes every year with the rules and all that stuff. They tweak it here and there. And it's all about the safety of the players. But
delayed steal. So you're not going to see this again.
No,
unfortunately.
That all started it. Hal McRae trying to score Freddie Patek from second base. That was pretty impressive. I mean, to tell you, it was on. You could do anything to knock the guy down. I mean, Willie Randolph, when I got to the New York Yankees and I played behind him, he said, watch out. Hal McRae and George Brett will ruin your career. They'll end it. You got to be careful. So that's knowing who's first base, knowing the runners.
Drew Butera with a fly ball to right field. Gore will tag. And it really doesn't matter what kind of an arm you have in right field with him going second to third. And if you think that Hal McRae slide was good, we found this one from 1972. And I say slide loosely.
Right. But you know, McRae wasn't trying to hurt him. Green never threw the ball. He took him out. And this was all in the rules. It's a clean takeout. I mean, a football roll at its best. McRae didn't try to hurt him. He just tried to break up the double play. Yeah, Green saw it. Didn't even throw the ball. He goes, uh-oh. This is not going to be pretty. And it wasn't. So Hal McRae, he's done a lot to change the sliding rules at second base. But then we all witnessed last year in the postseason what Chase Utley did. And it wasn't exactly what he did. It's how the fielder turned his back to him and put himself in that jeopardy, in harm's way, no question. It wasn't on Chase Utley as much as it was on Tejada's turn here. He turns his back to the runner. And Utley has a reputation like Hal McRae had. So you got to know the runner. I would have never done that. Ozzie Smith would have touched on the base and just jumped straight up. You always as a shortstop, when that runner's coming at you, you want to face first base and face the runner. You want to see him all. And when you turn your back like that, you're looking for trouble, and that's what happened.
Now you watch the McRae slides, and in 2016, you immediately say, well, you can't do that anymore. There's a base hit into center field for Snyder. And now the Royals lead 16-10. But just to, looking at McRae's slide, and now you apply it to today's rules. Number one, by the way, a runner can still take out an infielder, but he has to be able to hold the bag. So what Chase Utley did in the playoffs last year, he made no attempt to go into second base. He was clearly trying to take out Tejada, right? And ended up breaking his leg. But if he had been able to slide in and hold on to second base, or keep contact with second base, so my point is, you can still slide to the right or the left of the bag, but you have to be able to hold the bag. Your sole intent can't be to take out the runner, and it's reviewable.
Yep, it's going to be interesting, and they want you to start your slide sooner.
So watch, there is no intent for Chase Utley to get to second base.
Okay, the slide was late. Had he reached for the bag with his hands, it would have looked better. But see, Utley right now is trying to do one thing, and that's to help score a run. And look at his head. Utley slammed his head. It's amazing he didn't get a concussion on that. I mean, that was pretty vicious.
Now the second part about the McRae slide is that he took out Willie Randolph and Dick Green right around the hip. Now you cannot make any kind of contact above the knee. So I was asking, we're down in the umpires room, and Joel, who knows all the umpires, we went down and visited with Todd Tishner just because of his connection to the region growing up in Kansas. And I said, okay, so the Utley rule, if he had started the slide like you said, if he had started earlier and he could have gone in like he did, but let's say he was able to hang on with his left hand on the second base, would that have been a legal slide? He said, well, the second part about it was he made contact at or above the knee. So that's another subtle change to the rule.
Yep, it'll be interesting. There'll be a lot of replays and a lot of disputes on that, like there were with all the replay when they started that a couple years ago.
Well, it's going to be very similar to the home plate collisions now, where it's reviewable, and yet whoever's watching the replay in New York, it's not going to be like a fair or foul or out or safe, where he clearly was out or clearly was safe. It's still going to be up to the interpretation of the umpire what the intent of the base runner was.
Yeah, agreed.
Another change is the neighborhood play, which was not reviewable, and that's kind of a loose term in the history of baseball, that if the second baseman or the shortstop with a runner bearing down on him at second base, that if he's in the neighborhood of second base, doesn't necessarily have to have his foot on the bag when he's receiving the throw to help protect the infielder, that's now reviewable. So there is really no neighborhood play anymore. His foot is either on the bag or it's not on the bag.
So they're trying to make the grand game even grander.
Mondesi strikes out, and Mejia gives up the RBI single to Snyder, and now the Royals lead by 6. It is 16-10 Royals as we've reached the 8th inning. David Huff turned in a scoreless 7th inning and now stays on to face Castillo, Blanco, and Duffy. At least those are the scheduled hitters. Ali Castillo is 0 for 3 so far tonight. Getting back to our conversation last half inning, Hud, when we were talking about the slide plays, and I guess the neighborhood play is now in play because they feel like the infielders are more protected. So there's no reason for them to not touch the base. Do you think that's a safe assumption?
I think it is. Safety of the players is why they've altered the rules a little bit. But, you know, was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago now that they started replay?
In its current form, I believe this will be year 3.
I think so.
Right.
And we have our Fox meetings with all the Fox affiliates right before the season in February. And I remember 3 years ago, or when it was, that they had the great Joe Torre, my former skipper, my former manager, was explaining how they're going to do it. And they said that it was going to take some time, 2-3 years. We were going to continue to tweak it until we get it right. We think it's going to take 3, maybe 4 years. And I saw Joe afterwards, and they were talking about, you know, how they're going to protect the catcher. And after the meeting was over, I saw my former manager go, Joe, come on, man. Next thing you guys are going to do is you're going to take care of the second baseman and shortstops, and you're going to change that rule, slide at second base. And he goes, Hud, you're sick. You were sick then as a player, and you are still sick. I go, yeah, Joe, I couldn't play today. It'd be really tough to play in this game. Because, you know, that's part of it back in the day was, hey, when there's a ground ball, you're on first base. You're looking to help your team and break up the double play. That's just the way the game was played. But now it's being altered, and there'll be some adjustments that have to be made with the fielders and the sliders. He said it was going to take some time.
Well, and I understand that the so-called old schoolers who are frustrated with, you know, all these rules that have taken some of the aggressiveness out of the game. But, you know, if you're a Giants fan or just a baseball fan and you like Buster Posey, and he gets taken out when he's not even blocking home plate and he breaks his leg. How is the game any better with Buster Posey not playing? I mean, how's it? What does that do? I mean, you can have the old school, you know, attitude all you want, but how is the game better with Buster Posey with a broken leg?
Yeah, no, it's not. And last year, I thought it worked well. Nobody got any major injuries.
David Huff has 2 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts. We spent some time tonight talking about players that have really opened eyes in spring training. Ray Fuentes, Chin-Ming Wong are 2. And you've been very impressed, as you should be, because many are, with Whit Merrifield.
Yeah, and you know, being a utility player and you're on the fringe between AAA and the major leagues, it can be really tough coming into camp. So what you have to do is you really got to train yourself and be in mid-season form so you can perform and put up the numbers like Whit has done this spring, hitting .395 and impress enough to make a team. So some of the guys that have guaranteed contracts, they can use spring training to get in shape, and they don't have to worry about the numbers for it. But for a guy like Whit, he did his homework. He passed the first major test. He did his work. He conditioned himself properly. He said, he told me before the game that he took a lot of live hitting at Wake Forest. He lives close to there, and he went to their school, and he did some live work, and that got him ready to produce right when you get here in spring training. He did the right thing, and he might make the team because of that hard work. He's going for 2 all the way.
And he's in with his second double.
He can run. He stole over 30 bags last year, so he's another Royals type player. But the fact that he's versatile, he can play infield and outfield, that really increases his stock. Really, he's a National League player in an American League uniform, because all the double switches they do, and he'd be a perfect fit for a National League team. But the Royals aren't sure they're going to let him go anywhere. Keep him. He can hit. He got a huge hit for his college team in the World Series, a walk-off hit.
2010, playing for the University of South Carolina. UCLA, this was a walk-off hit to win the College World Series. Nice looking swing there. Celebrating as he realized he had won it, and then goes flying literally with the wings out around first base.
Yeah, how about that? And 10. I'm wondering if that guy on the mound was James Caprillion, who the Yankees drafted in the first round for UCLA. Saw him in the background there.
Paulo Orlando grounds it to third. Merrifield stays at second base. And there is one down. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg. Another ground ball to third. 2 down. Ryder Jones is now at third base. Merrifield still at second base. And it brings up Tony Cruz, who is 0 for 1. Tyler Mazenko is now on the mound for the Giants. Went around. Pat Hoberg is the first base umpire. Good fastball over the outside, 0-2. At one point tonight, and it was very early in the game, the Giants led 8-1. They led 8-1 going into the bottom of the third, and then the Royals scored 8.
Well, there's the difference in bullpens right there. Ned Yost has one of the best bullpens in the game, and you could see what Duffy and Chin-Ming Wong and those guys did. Those are big league pitchers, and they came in and they shut the other guys down. And then, you know, Bochy has a team full of young players.
Cruz is out, and so are the Royals in the bottom of the 8th. We have achieved the 9th inning. The Royals lead 16-10. Baseball is brought to you by Shelter Insurance for your auto, home, and life. Visit your local agent or find them on the web at shelterinsurance.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. David Huff has pitched a scoreless 7th and 8th and on for the 9th. It's a ground ball to third and a nice hop for Merrifield in time to get Brandon Bednar for the first out of the 9th inning.
You know, you see Merrifield over there at third base. He plays a good third base. He can play second, first. Shortstop's a little bit tougher for him. It's a tough position. It was hard for me. I was a utility player too at shortstop and as a throw and all that whole thing. But he's a very adequate third baseman. He can play anywhere in the outfield. He's got good speed.
Gore and Orlando in left center field. Terrence Gore makes a play, and there are 2 down. And he's not an infielder who can play the outfield. He's an infielder who played a lot of the outfield in college. So it's not just something he can do. It's a place where he once played quite a bit.
Yeah, and you know what impresses me too is his attitude. He's a humble guy, but he carries himself with confidence. He knows he's going to be a big league player. He just sometimes you got to wait your turn. You got to be in the right place at the right time.
We hope to visit with Witt after the game is over. Get Joel to run him down.
If you make a championship caliber ball club like the Royals, you've done something. There was hardly any jobs open for the Royals this spring.
Eliezer Zambrano was in the original starting lineup as catcher and was scratched. Miguel Olivo had been back at the plate for most of the game, so Zambrano gets an at-bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Off the end of the bat, and that'll drop into center field for a 2-out base hit. Royals are back on Fox Sports Kansas City. Our first regular season broadcast is Tuesday, and the Royals received their World Championship rings. And we bring you exclusive coverage of the ceremony live from Kauffman Stadium starting at 1:30. The ring ceremony and then the Royals and Mets Tuesday on Fox Sports Kansas City.
Like those new hats they're wearing in the spring with the crown on top. Wondering if they'll have a regular season hat like that. I don't know. I know they got some nice jerseys they're going to sport opening day and on that Tuesday game that have gold lettering. Be something new for the fans.
Really good looking.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Still 0-2 on Shaw.
That boy's out of it.
Royals are very familiar with David Huff. He was with the Indians for several years, 2009 to 2013. Former first-round pick out of UCLA. He's also pitched with the Yankees. He pitched with the Giants 2 seasons ago. And then, as we mentioned, when he came on, he was in the Dodgers organization last year, most of the season in AAA, and then a handful of games with the Dodgers. Didn't quite stick in Butera's glove.
Oh, I can hear Butera from up here going, oh, let's get this game over. Oh my gosh.
And out of frustration, that might be the hardest throw of the night for David Huff. And thankfully he's all right. The out to end the game is just a bonus.
Oh man, the glove
Nice little flip there.
Nice
Pretty
play.
nonchalant.
Nice play by the glove. Oh, man. Boy.
With a little bit of flair there at the end, huh?
Let it go, Huff.
Lucky to be alive, but he goes out with style. Royals win it. We'll be right back.